swears that sometimes when you hit the ball, you went, hooah! Is that true or is that not true?
Well, it's unconscious, I guess. I don't know. She was
What if everything you thought you knew about Al Pacino's untouchable Hollywood reign was a mirage, shattered in a single jaw-dropping moment? Picture this. The man who snarled, "Say hello to my little friend," and ruled as Michael Corleone, now 84, flatlined. His heart stopped, his fortune vanished, and his legacy teeters on a razor's edge. $50 million stolen in a betrayal so bold it's straight out of a mafia script. A health scare that defied the odds, and a love story twisted with whispers of deceit. How does a legend fall this far? This fast? Behind the Oscars and the swagger lies a hidden truth so wild it'll make you question. Is Pacino's greatest role the one he's living right now? Buckle up. This isn't just a story. It's a roller coaster you can't unride. What happens next? You'll have to see. Back in the day, Pacino's journey was pure hustle. School? Forget it. English was his only passing grade before he ditched Herman Ritter Junior High and the High School of Performing Arts at 17. His mom begged him to find stability, but acting was his heartbeat. Their fights pushed him out the door into a world of odd jobs: messenger, janitor, busboy, postal clerk. Some nights the streets were his bed. Others he crashed on friends' couches. By 9, he was smoking and drinking. By 13, marijuana crept in. Friends fell to addiction. 3 lost forever to heroin. But Pacino locked his eyes on a different high: his dream. Rejections piled up at the Actors Studio, so he turned to HB Studio, where mentor Charlie Lawton ignited his fire for method acting. He slept in theaters, rehearsed on stages that doubled as his mattress, pouring every ounce of himself into the craft. Then tragedy hit hard. His mom overdosed at 43 in 1962, and his grandfather followed less than a year later. Devastated, he spiraled, borrowing cash to eat, sometimes homeless, yet his resolve never cracked. At 23, the Actors Studio finally opened its doors, and under Lee Strasberg's wing, he honed a raw electric edge that would soon electrify the world. Fast forward to today, and the plot thickens. How does a man who once owned Hollywood end up broke overnight? At 84, Pacino's facing a financial nightmare. His trusted accountant allegedly swindled $50 million in a jaw-dropping scam. That's not all. Trending whispers on X hint at a health scare that stopped his heart for minutes. Doctors battling to pull him back from the brink. Once he was Michael Corleone, commanding respect. Now he's shelling out $400,000 yearly to maintain empty mansions while supporting a 29-year-old girlfriend who's reportedly seeing other people. The contrast is staggering. Pacino's past glittered with milestones like his 1968 Obie Award for The Indian Wants the Bronx, a gritty off-Broadway hit that turned heads, and his 1969 film debut in Me, Natalie. That small role paved the way for The Panic in Needle Park. In 1971, where his raw portrayal of a hustler hooked on love and drugs caught Francis Ford Coppola's eye. Then came The Godfather. In 1972, a career-defining triumph that cemented his legacy. But hold on, can you imagine the man who embodied that mafia kingpin now taking humbling gigs just to keep the lights on? Let's peel back the curtain on Pacino's Lux life, or what's left of it. This is a guy who once rolled in style, with a garage boasting classics like a Rolls-Royce Phantom and a sleek Porsche 911 Turbo. His wrist, adorned with a Patek Philippe Grand Complications, a timepiece worth more than some homes. Real estate was his game too. Think a sprawling Beverly Hills estate and a New York penthouse with views to die for. Private jets? He's hopped on Gulfstreams for cross-country jaunts. Business-wise, he co-founded Chow Productions and banked on collaborations with heavyweights like Martin Scorsese. Major deals? His stakes in film projects raked in millions. Insurance? He's had top-tier policies, health plans for his grueling shoots, asset protection for his properties, career coverage for the unpredictable Hollywood grind. But here's the lesson. Lavish spending and blind trust can unravel even the smartest empires. Pacino's story screams caution. Diversify, double-check your inner circle, and never assume the cash will keep flowing. From Bronx Dreamer to Tinseltown Titan, his journey's been a roller coaster of resilience and reinvention. Pacino's 70s reign didn't stop there. In 1973, he was Serpico, a whistleblower cop tearing through NYPD corruption with explosive grit. Another Oscar nod in the bag. Then, 1975's Dog Day Afternoon hit, and he was Sonny Wartzik, a frantic bank robber shouting "Attica" in an improvised moment that electrified audiences. That role? Another nomination, cementing him as Hollywood's rawest talent. His net worth back then? Climbing fast, from theater kid scraps to millions by the mid-70s. But hold tight. Did you hear he's now broke? Scammed out of $50 million by a trusted confidant? That's the gut punch rocking X today, a stark fall from his luxury days. Picture his garage, once home to a Bentley Continental GT and a Mercedes-Benz S-Class, now a fading memory. His wrist flashed a Rolex Daytona, and his real estate empire spanned a Palisades mansion and a Scarface-worthy Miami pad, bought in the 80s for a steal, now worth millions. Private jets like a Cessna Citation whisked him coast to coast, while his production company, Chow Productions, and deals with directors like Sidney Lumet padded his fortune. Insurance. He had it all. Health for the grind, asset protection for his toys, career policies for the risks. Yet one bad move, and it's crumbling. The late 70s flipped the script. Enter the stumbles. Bobby Deerfield. In 1977 was a romantic misfire. Audiences booed, critics sneered, and Pacino's softer side flopped. Then came Cruising. In 1980, a gritty dive into New York's underground that sparked protests. Activists drowned out filming with air horns, and the murky ending left viewers cold. In his 2024 memoir, Sonny Boy, he confessed it's a regret he buried deep. But wait, can a single role resurrect a titan? Scarface. In 1983 roared in, with Pacino as Tony Montana, a cocaine-fueled kingpin, spitting lines like, "Say hello to my little friend." Critics balked, but fans turned it into a $66 million cult classic. Its echo still booming in hip-hop today. His net worth soared past $20 million, fueled by that comeback and rentals like a New York estate now valued at $10 million plus. Future projections? Analysts peg him at $120 million in his prime, but today's scam could slash that to single digits if he doesn't rebound. The lesson? Reinvention pays, but trust can cost you everything. Then the plot thickens. Revolution. In 1985, Tanked Hard, a $28 million epic that barely scraped $358,000, mocked for his shaky accent. He vanished from films for 4 years, licking wounds. But 1989's Sea of Love teased a return, and 1992's Scent of a Woman sealed it. As Frank Slade, a blind, brash ex-officer, Pacino delivered a courtroom speech that finally clinched his Oscar after 8 nominations. The film hauled $134 million, and his net worth ticked up again. Compare that to now, rumors swirl of a health scare that flatlined him briefly, and he's reportedly taking lowball roles to cover $400,000 in landscaping for empty homes. His journey's a kaleidoscope, from a 70s golden boy to an 80s risk-taker, now an elder statesman battling to hold on. His real estate, once a crown jewel, sits quiet. Think a Hollywood Hills retreat bought for $1.2 million in the 90s, now worth $5 million. Cars like a Cadillac Escalade still hum in his story, but the jets? Grounded. The Godfather Part 3. In 1990, wrapped his iconic trilogy, and though it didn't match its predecessor's glory, it still pulled $66 million. Then came Heat in 1995, facing off with Robert De Niro in a crime epic that cemented his grit, raking in $187 million. Yet, whispers on X hint at a recent health scare that stopped his heart cold. How does a Titan keep swinging after that? Rewind to the financial unraveling. It's a plot twist worthy of his films. In his 70s, Pacino trusted Kenneth Starr, a slick money man, to the stars with his fortune. Big mistake. Starr ran a Ponzi scheme, juggling funds like a circus act, and by 2010, Pacino's $50 million vanished. Starr got 7.5 years behind bars, but the cash? Gone. Pacino's spending didn't help. He was dropping $400,000 yearly on landscaping for a house he barely stepped foot in, a tab that'd be $900,000 today. 16 cars on his dime, though he owned 2. 23 phone lines buzzing for no reason. He'd tuned out the numbers, letting others steer the ship. Even his $10 million per film paychecks melted under taxes, fees, and wild splurges. Think private Gulfstream jets for European jaunts, renting whole floors at London's Dorchester Hotel. Millions flowed out like water. Then, bam, broke. So, what's a legend do? He took a wild swing with Jack and Jill in 2011, playing a cartoonish version of himself alongside Adam Sandler. Critics gagged. It's got a 3% Rotten Tomatoes score, but it made $149 million, and his $5 million paycheck was a lifeline. No regrets, he says. Sandler was a blast. But seriously, how does a man who defined cool end up here? Let's zoom into his personal orbit. It's a whirlwind of love and legacy. Pacino's never tied the knot, but fatherhood's his anchor. His eldest, Julie Marie, arrived in 1989 with acting coach John Tarrant. A fleeting romance that left a lasting mark. Fast forward to 2001, and twins Anton and Olivia Rose came with Beverly D'Angelo, his partner from 1997 to 2003. Then the shocker, at 83, he welcomed Roman in June 2023 with Noor Al-Falah, a film producer 54 years his junior. Their spark lit in April 2022 and tongues wagged. Past loves? Diane Keaton, his Godfather co-star, called him her heart's entertainer through an on-off dance that faded after part 3. There was Lucilla Polak for a decade, plus Tuesday Weld and Martha Keller, romances that flickered but never led to vows. Marriage? Not my fit, he shrugs, but his kids, his pride. In Sonny Boy, what he admits he shortchanged his twins' early years, lost in the grind. Now, supporting Noor and Roman, he's juggling dad duties with a bank account on fumes. Can he rewrite this chapter? Flash to a night that could have ended it all, 1970s post-Godfather fame. After drinks with Richard Hackman, Gene's brother, Pacino, too hazy to trek home, accepted a fan's ride. She seemed harmless until she veered off course. "I'm kidnapping you," she said, cool as ice. His Bronx-honed instincts kicked in. He demanded out, ready to leap from the moving car. Maybe she saw the steel in his eyes. She caved, driving him home. "The South Bronx taught me survival," he wrote later. That grit's still there, but today's battles are quieter, heavier. At his peak, he was a cultural force. Scarface's Tony Montana still echoes, and Scent of a Woman. Who-ah is eternal. Yet 2010's roles like Manglehorn and The Irishman, in 2019, a $159 million Netflix hit with De Niro, show he's still got juice, even if the pay's slimmer. Compare that to now. Rumors swirl he's funding a 29-year-old's lifestyle while clinging to empty mansions. What's the real cost of loyalty? This is Pacino Unfiltered, a roller coaster from glory to grit, with twists that keep us hooked. His past? A masterclass in resilience, turning flops into fuel. Today? A fighter humbled, not floored. How does he balance fatherhood, fame, and a fortune lost to trust? The man who jumped from a car to save himself might just leap again, figuratively this time. His journey's a live wire, electrifying, unpredictable, and far from done. Stick with us. Pacino's next move could be his boldest yet, and you'll want a front row seat. Here we are, racing to the final act of Al Pacino's wild Hollywood odyssey, A tale so gripping it's like he's living one of his own films, teetering between legend and heartbreak. After decades of iconic roles and personal battles, the man who gave us Tony Montana and Michael Corleone is facing a present that's as unpredictable as his past was electrifying. Picture this. At 84, Pacino's hit with a health scare that flatlined him. COVID-19 knocked him out cold in 2020, fever and dehydration stealing his pulse for minutes. Paramedics in sci-fi gear swarmed, 6 of them plus 2 doctors fighting to yank him back. When he opened his eyes, it was no bright light or warm embrace. Just a void, he says, a blank nothing that shook him to his core. "You're here, then you're not," he wrote in Sonny Boy. That brush with the edge changed him, sparking a vow to cherish his newborn son Roman and rethink life itself. But wait, how does a man who's dodged fate before keep going when the hits just keep coming? Let's rewind to the sleepless nights that haunted him long before. Chronic insomnia, a relentless shadow since his youth. His mind churned nonstop, some nights staring at the ceiling till dawn, others collapsing into exhaustion that never brought rest. By his Hollywood peak, it was a wrecking ball. Mood swings, memory glitches, even hallucinations when the haze got thick. In 2002's Insomnia, he played a detective unraveling from sleep deprivation. And it wasn't just acting. He lived it. Then came The Money Mess. A crooked accountant siphoned millions, piling stress onto those endless nights. Coping. He tried, but it's a fight he's never fully won. An unseen struggle that's as brutal as any on-screen showdown. Fast forward to now, and the stakes are higher. Rumors swirl of a $50 million scam by Kenneth Starr in 2010, slashing his fortune overnight. Once, his net worth soared past $120 million. Today, it's a shaky $20 million, with projections dim unless he rebounds. What's the secret to surviving when your body and bank account betray you? Zoom into his Lux life. It's a tale of splendor and stumbles. His real estate empire dazzled. A $5 million Hollywood Hills pad from the 90s, a $10 million New York penthouse, a Miami mansion echoing Scarface vibes. Cars. He rolled in a Lexus LX and a Range Rover, with the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak gleaming on his wrist. Private jets like a Bombardier Challenger whisked him skyward, while Chow Productions and collabs with Nolan and Scorsese fueled his wealth. Insurance kept him covered. Health plans for the grind, asset protection for his treasures, career policies for the risks. But the lesson? Overspending and blind trust can gut even a kingpin's stash. He shelled out $400,000 yearly on landscaping for empty homes, millions on jet-set trips. Think a Dorchester hotel floor rental in London. Now he's funding Noor Al-Falah, his 29-year-old ex, with $30,000 monthly child support, a $110,000 lump sum, and extras like $13,000 for a night nurse. All while she's linked to Bill Mayer. Friends whisper she's draining him, but he's still smitten. Will love or logic win this round? Flash to the controversies that dogged him. 1980s. Cruising was a lightning bolt. Playing a cop diving into New York's gay club scene, Pacino aimed to stretch his craft, but protests erupted. Activists stormed shoots, blasting noise to sabotage takes, fearing stereotypes. The film landed hard. Critics called it shallow, audiences split, and Pacino later donated his paycheck to charity, a quiet mea culpa. Then there's Noor, 54 years his junior, mom to Roman, born June 2023. By October 2024, they'd split, but she's still in his orbit, her past with Mick Jagger and Clint Eastwood fueling talk of gold digging. Court docs show he's bankrolling her Lux life, and pals fret he'll leave her a fortune. Compare that to his past. Heat's $187 million haul. The Irishman's late career flex with De Niro. Now he's taking humbler gigs to stay afloat. How does a giant weather storms that won't quit? This is Pacino's curtain call, a saga of grit, glory, and gut punches. From sleepless Bronx nights to Oscar nights, he's defied odds, but today's a new beast. His kids, Julie with Jan Tarrant, twins Anton and Olivia with Beverly D'Angelo, Roman with Noor anchor him, yet his wallet's stretched thin. His journey screams wisdom, diversify, watch your back, and adapt, or lose it all. At 84, he's a legend, humbled, not broken, facing a health wake-up, a love tangle, and a fortune's ghost. What's next? Will he reclaim his throne or fade into the credits? One thing's sure, this tale's final frame is unwritten, and the screen's still flickering with possibility.